Over the past 2 seasons, Chicago Bulls fans have felt split as to who exactly our best player is. While that depends on how you consume the game and if you truly watch it, on today's episode of the Chicago Bullpen, we'll dive into all that and more right after this.
Extra. This shit is hard.
Alright, now welcome to the Chicago Bullpen. I'm your host, Nick Tolliver, aka Quale. And at least to my knowledge, before Lonzo Ball got hurt, the majority of the fan base have always felt like, hey, we need the right point guard and coaching around Zach. Now, when we missed the playoffs the year that we traded for Vooch, a lot of fans started feeling like, hey, Zach can't be a number one option because we just got a nice team around him and we still can't make the playoffs. While other fans defended him off of the basis that, hey, Vooch joined at the deadline, so it didn't give them enough time to mesh and get things together, and we still need a point guard. But to this day, I never agreed with the whole idea Zach can't be a number one option, because in today's NBA, anyone can be a number one option. It just depends on how either facet of the team is tailored to them, whether it be offense or defense. But as soon as we get Lonzo Ball, DeMar DeRozan, Alex Caruso, we're rolling. We're the number one seed. Lonzo Ball gets hurt. Then from there on, it seems like the fans' perception of Zach shifted as a majority. It seems like people are again under the impression that Zach is the issue because he didn't make a lot of buzzer beaters. And to put it blunt, he had a rough start to the season, and DeMar has been the quote-unquote best player in the terms of the past 2 seasons. It's not like he hasn't made an amazing argument. I can understand why some would say that in terms of the past 2 seasons. Let me reiterate that. He averaged 27 points the year we signed him on 50% from shooting, and he made game-saving buzzer beaters to keep us afloat, clinching our first playoff berth since the Jimmy Butler days. But in the same breath, Zach averaged 27 the year before DeMar got here. And while we didn't make the playoffs, Zach has shown he could score at the level of DeMar. The main thing that separates the two, I feel like, is IQ from DeMar. And also, a bit of finishing from Zach. While some would say that DeMar is a great finisher, he is, but I just don't think he's as good as Zach when it comes to finishing. When Zach is attacking the rim or cutting through traffic to get to the basket, he's virtually unstoppable when he's on. And while you can argue he's inconsistent or streaky, Zach is almost always playing through some form of injury and still giving it all he's got. After the All-Star break, Zach led us with 26 points, which was after he got a good enough point guard to get things rolling, not only passing the ball, but vocally. And that brings me to my point, which is that Bulls fans are forgetting Zach plays good with a good point guard. If you think DeMar, Kobe, Vooch, Laurie, and P. Will would have been any better than what we had with Zach, then you're out of your mind. With all due respect, DeMar averaged the most points he had since 2016 when he got here. And the reason for that is because of how Billy runs his offense through stars. And he's always done that. And, he's never been a horrible coach, but I've always said Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Chris Paul, Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, he's always had great players to put the ball in the hands of. And I just see the lack of defensive adjustments and the lack of lineup changes in vital moments as true indicators of him not being as good of a coach as many believe. And I think we get caught up in all the, he's personable, he's a good guy. A lot of players talk a lot more about his personality than his actual coaching ability. I just don't think that Billy Donovan is the coach for this Bulls team. And maybe with another coach, DeMar averages more assists and we're able to have ILB the starting point guard because we have a competent enough coach to make DeMar focus on another facet of his game other than buckets. Maybe with another coach, Zach is shooting more efficiently because one of the best catch and shooters in the entire NBA is finally being used as one instead of having an ISO. Keep in mind, Zach built a bag because he was our best player for years and had to run the game through him. Ideally, I'd love a scenario where he's spot up for three and cutting for lobs because of how Billy tailors the offense towards DeMar, Bulls fans forget Zach's actual skill set and believe DeMar is our best player. And some even think we should build around him going forward, which I could never get behind. But with that being said, my opinion on the whole argument is our best player is Zach, but DeMar put up 2 great seasons. And it's important I reiterate a different coach could help our scenario because I think we're trying to make DeMar shoot threes and keep making him get buckets when he could always just average 20, 24 points and get 7 to 8 assists a night and try playing harder on defense. Try doing the things the Bulls truly need. because there's no reason our big three can't work out. With us running it back again, I almost hope we stay pat at the deadline to put Billy in even more of a hot seat and prove that his coaching is plaguing this big three. But that's all my, opinion. I know some fans actually are a fan of Billy, but I know a lot of us really don't like him, and we feel like this season may be actually the one that puts him on the hot seat. I don't believe that because, they just signed him to an extension. I think he's probably going to live that extension out, and I don't think that we're going to get a new coach until that extension's over. But that's all my time for today. I haven't seen any content creators really address the arguments surrounding Zach and DeMar and who our best guy is. So I just want to throw that out there and let you guys have a little fun with it. So go on in the comments. Let me know what you guys are thinking. I'm done rambling on, guys. Have a blessed day. Go Bulls. See red, y'all. Deuces.